I'm Mark.
And I'm Josh.
And this is Comics Are Awesome, brought to you by Alter Ego Comics for the week of September 13th, 2017. And we've got stacks and stacks of comics to talk about, so let's dive right into it. We're going to be talking about books that we loved the most this week and things that we think that you should spend your hard-earned greenbacks on. My pick of the week, and this was a tough one. I had three contenders, but I actually had to go with the book that I felt was the best, and that was Kill or Be Killed, number 12. Written by Ed Brubaker, artwork by Sean Phillips, and we're 12 issues in on a series that we talk about every issue about. There are two trades out. It's about a 20-something guy that decides to kill himself. He's interrupted by possibly a demon who makes a deal with him to bring him back to life or keep him alive as long as he murders someone every month. And Dylan is the guy's name. His plan is to take out people who deserve to die, and this has led him down a long and winding road to a confrontation with the Russian mafia. And also, he may or may not be crazy.
Yeah.
But this, man, Brubaker is such a good writer. Such a good writer. And that's what did this for. It's the combination of the two of them.
Yeah, there were
Brubaker
several
and
panels in
Phillips.
here where it was just like Dylan looking at something and I'm like, wow, there's a lot said there with no dialogue. Like, Phillips does a great job.
This makes you want to go back and reread or read everything that they've ever done. It's that good.
And it's a long list.
Yes.
Did you see the... sorry.
No, go ahead.
Did you see the letters at the back? They said he's working on a potential sequel to Fade Out.
A sequel, but not really a sequel to the Fade Out.
Don't care. I'll read it.
Yep. Yep. So Kill or Be Killed should be on your reading list. If it's not, go pick up the graphic novels, the trade paperbacks. We just pick a term and use it.
It should be graphic novels.
It should be graphic
Trade paperbacks
novels.
is a meaningless term because technically anything that's not a standard book size is a trade paperback.
Right. So it applies to things other than comics.
It
whereas
does
graphic
indeed.
novel. So let's just make this a movement here, folks. Graphic novel is the term for a collected edition of a comic.
And it's on you to correct us when we say it wrong, because we will.
Yes. Man, I love this. And it was tough. Like I said, there were three that were strong contenders.
Yeah.
But this rose to the top.
Super awesome. My pick of the week this week is Mr. Miracle number 2, written by Tom King with art by Mitch Gerads. This continues the tale of Scott Free and his life and his wife and other figures in his life.
And a knife.
All of my stuff will rhyme now. King's writing is really amazing. I love the way the plot's structured in the book. It doesn't jump around chronologically. It does jump around chronologically a little bit, but it's not like Pulp Fiction or anything. But like the little vignettes, and it's really complimented by Gerads art. I'm not what you would call a devotee of the school of Kirby, but like there's something about the way Gerads draws like parademons and a lot of these figures on Apocalypse. Like, this doesn't look anything like the way Jack Kirby draws, but something about the like inherent absurdity of it screams Jack Kirby to me. And we've got these cool 9-panel page layouts, kind of like a Watchmen or like a Dark Knight had that for a while.
Crisis or
yeah, like any kind of vintage book. But what we're seeing within them is a very modern style story. It's a great marriage of the history of comics with things going forward. Tom King found a way to make me care about Granny Goodness. I didn't even think that was possible. Just an amazing book. If you like Tom King's Batman, I would give it a look. If you like Tom King's Vision, I would just pick it up. You should buy it. Because if you like Vision, you will like this. I pretty much promise. But just some of the most inventive superhero comics coming out on the stands this week, or this year, now, are from Tom King. And he deserves your attention.
Absolutely. If you're one of our local supporters, we are getting the second printing of issue number 1
right now.
This week as well. So if you missed out on issue 1, you can grab that and issue 2 when you come in this week. Next up for me is a 1-2 punch of Dark Knight's Metal. So issue number 2 is out this week by Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo. That is the core miniseries trying to explain what's going on that is rocking the DC universe to its core with Batman and his continued secretiveness, and this is about nth metal.
So there's 5 metals, right?
Yes, I don't know.
And yeah,
Josh may have to explain this to me, but the artwork is outstanding. One of the cool things I really liked about this is that Snyder shows us that he's kind of sort of been laying the groundwork for this for a while.
Probably.
Yeah.
Or he's retroactively having done that.
Maybe, and if that's the case, that's still cool.
Oh, yeah.
Because we get mentions of many previous storylines, including Final Crisis and Court of the Owls, and I mean stuff he didn't even work on, like Final Crisis and the death of Batman, whatever he was doing.
What was the thing called when he came back?
Battle for the Cowl, or
well, no, the one where he moved through time.
The Return of Batman.
Bruce Wayne.
I think that's what it was called.
The Road to Bruce Wayne or something?
The Road to Captain... I don't remember. But, one of the best things about this, Capullo's artwork, he gets to draw some freaky stuff, and it is outstanding, and you've got Baby Apocalypse.
Yeah.
With this,
it's not Apocalypse, it's Darkseid.
Sorry.
He's from Apocalypse.
Yes.
Planet.
Baby Darkseid with his ruby quartz crystal glasses.
Yeah, it's awesome. Like, I feel like Metal's the best title for this, because it's like... It's metal. Like, it's dark and it's
rocking so hard on metal.
It's fun and yeah.
So one thing you may not be aware is that the first metal tie-in comes out this week as well, and that is Teen Titans number 12, written by Benjamin Percy with inspiration by Scott Snyder and James Tinney IV and Greg Capullo. Artwork by that guy Adolfo. There it is. Mirka Adolfo. Merca Adolfo. Read Dark Knight's Metal 1 and 2 first, and then read Teen Titans. And there's a tiny box on the first page, in the first panel that tells you to do that, so you may overlook it. But this picks up where Metal number 2 kind of leaves off. We've got Damian and the Teen Titans kind of searching for Batman and trying to figure out what this big honking labyrinth that appears in the middle of Gotham City is. But more than that, you get a really cool team-up and interplay between Damian, Green Arrow, Harley Quinn, and Killer Croc. So you get so much value in this book. You don't want to overlook Teen Titans number 12. As I said, it's the first Metal tie-in, but it's also the first part of Gotham Resistance, which is going to focus on the characters in Gotham City and how they're resisting the metal creatures, and that spins out through a variety of titles. So a lot of people ask us, do I have to read the tie-ins when a miniseries comes out? The answer is usually no. But if you can swing it, if you like the characters involved, I would absolutely recommend picking up Teen Titans 12 this week.
Yeah, if you read Metal 1 and pretty much the last 2-page spread in there is a reveal... 2. What?
That's 2. Metal 2.
Sorry, Metal 2. And if you want to know more about some of those characters in that last 2-page spread, this is your first place to get any information really, but in-depth information on them. I wasn't expecting a lot, but I really thought it was cool and it added to the experience in the main Metal book. Next up for me this week is Dead of Winter, written by Carl Starks with art by Gabbo. If you remember Dead of Winter, it was the book that had a dog with a cape fighting zombies. This time around, the story continues. We still have a dog with a cape fighting zombies. And we're also introduced to a drunken hobo Santa Claus looter, possibly murder guy. I don't know. It's so much fun. Like it's an apocalypse and it's dark and bad stuff is happening and people are scrambling to survive. But it kind of nods at the ridiculousness of the premise. And if you have played the board game, there's lots of little jokes and references to cards and things that happen in the game that are pretty cool. But if you want something zombified and horror-y as we get closer to Halloween, God, it's almost October now. I mean, it's halfway there.
Don't rush it.
Yeah. It is a not lighter, but more fun version of the apocalypse than you usually get. It's a fun apocalypse, man.
Amazing Spider-Man 32 is on my list this week, and this is a standalone story focused on Norman Osborn and how he would like to become a Sorcerer Supreme. Written by Dan Slott. The big selling point for this for me is we've got art by Greg Smallwood, who was the artist on Jeff Lemire's Moon Knight run. Smallwood is an amazing artist. He can do lots of different styles, but every page of this was just something that I soaked in. And I'm usually bigger on art than story. Josh is the story guy. I'm the art guy, and the art in this is outstanding. So Norman cannot summon, at least in this, and I think this takes place after the most recent arc of Amazing Spider-Man.
Well, that's why his face is messed up, right?
Right. But he's trying to summon the Goblin. Like, he's not got the crazy voice in his head. He doesn't have... he's just being his normal crazy Norman Osborn self, not a Green Goblin self. So he's trying to get in touch with his inner Goblin, and in order to do that, he has to go and possibly study with monks and become a Sorcerer Supreme, a la... Victor Von Doom and Doctor Strange and Baron Mordo, Mumu,
Bantha
that guy. It's really, really good. Slott does a great job. Smallwood's art, as I mentioned, is outstanding. You can pick this up if you just want to kind of get back into Spider-Man, if you haven't been reading for a little while. I
don't know if it'll help you get back into Spider-Man, but it'll get you back into
Norman Osborn. It might get you to come back and check out the next issue.
Yeah.
The next issue is the first issue under the Legacy banner and going back to the Legacy numbering. But this was a nice... catch your breath issue, I guess, before we move on with wherever Legacy is going. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, super fun. Next up for me is Runaways #1, written by Rainbow Rowell, who you may know from apparently Eleanor and Park. Oh, Fangirl. We stocked Fangirl.
Yeah.
And Carry On, which are critically acclaimed young adult novels.
My Wayward Son.
With art by Chris Anka. And this is the first Runaways series not in some alternate dimension in several years. The original Runaways series is one of our favorite graphic novels. It was written by Brian K. Vaughan. And then there were later arcs by a laundry list of awesome creators. Joss Whedon did an arc. Was it Terry Moore?
Dodson, Terry Moore,
Terry
sorry.
Moore.
Yes, of Strangers in Paradise fame.
Yeah, just really great, relatable kids in the Marvel Universe. And it really is sort of just like a cross-section of the Marvel Universe. You've got a mutant, and you got somebody who's a time traveler, you got all these people. So I tell everyone that any comic is designed to be read for the first time, and you can read this and enjoy it the first time. Alex, because of his character flaws, has never read the original Runaways, and he picked it up and followed it just fine. I will say, I think you'll enjoy it more, and if you have any intention of reading the first Runaways, I would read that first, because this definitely spoils story arcs. But we see kind of the Runaways have been sort of scattered to the wind. They're getting a little old to be child Runaways. I mean, some of them, at least two of them have to be adults.
We don't know how age works.
Well, it's been 2 years. Nico specifically says it's been 2 years, Chase. So
what? Molly's like
14,
Molly's 15?
Yeah, Molly's early teenager, but like
everybody else.
Chase has got to be an adult. Nico's probably an adult or close.
And Alien Girl, what's her face?
Yeah, I don't know how. Carolina Dean.
Yeah. Okay.
Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds is her code name. But if you like fresh, exciting new characters in the Marvel Universe, and sales would suggest that no one does, it's an awesome story. It's really well executed. If you like Rainbow Rowell's other work for young adults, I would imagine you would probably enjoy this as well. And I really liked it.
We implore you to pick up the Brian K. Vaughan Runaways.
Yeah.
And as you may have heard, there's a TV series coming to Hulu. Is that spring, fall?
I would assume it's Hulu doesn't keep the same schedule as everybody else. So I
might
don't
be winter,
I don't think it's
know.
fall. Yeah,
but I'm pretty sure it's done. Well, although they keep signing people, but it is.
Well, they keep announcing people. Yeah. I mean.
Yeah, really, folks. Runaways is available in multiple different formats. You can get, a $14.99 single volume. You can get a $30, double volume. You can get, if you look on the internet, you can probably. I hate the internet, by the way. Don't shop on the internet.
We sell things on the internet.
They had digest versions. They had lots of different things. Marvel was really pushing Runaways hard, and for one reason or another, it didn't hit the target with a lot of people. So, it's freaking Brian K. Vaughan saga. Yeah. Why the Last Man? He introduced these new characters that are still around in the Marvel Universe and beloved.
Yeah. Awesome.
All right, one of the most anticipated books this week is Action Comics number 987. This is the first part of the 5-part Oz Effect storyline, written by Dan Jurgens, artwork by Bogdanovich.
Peter Bogdanovich?
Damn you. It's like... Whatever happened
credit pages
to the Transylvania Twist? See, there's the title page. There we go, Victor Bogdanovich. I don't even know what page I'm on. 6 pages in, I get the title page. Lenticular cover, which you may or may not be able to see from here. So we alternate from the Superman S, shield, hope symbol to Oz, and bodies all over the place. I will tell you, this first issue reveals the identity of Mr. Oz, so...
Or appears to. There's always wheels within wheels with these guys.
Anything can happen in the world of comics, but I would stay off the internet if you don't want it spoiled for you. And we've had questions from some of our customers. Does this lead into the Doomsday Clock? We don't know. Nobody tells us anything. Really, seriously. We have to wait until the books come out, just like you, for the most part. So this may or may not have anything to do with the Doomsday Clock. But what it has to do with is rocking Superman's universe to its core. So if you're a fan of the Big Blue, you absolutely want to pick this up. This is going to be one of the high points or turning points in the life of Superman. So having said that, I did enjoy it. Bogdanovich's artwork is really solid. It's kind of a cross between Art Adams and some other people. It was really good. I liked it.
Yeah, no, I thought the art was nice as well.
Yeah, it fits the story well. And I will not say anything else about the book. I will tell you should read it, you should pick it up, because that's how we roll. We tell you what we like.
Yeah, and I actually haven't been reading Action regularly in singles, and I picked this up and followed it with no problem. So if you're just reading the other Super books or other DC books, you can totally jump in. I'm the same
boat. Superman is the book that I read rather than Action, but I jumped in.
Not that you have to choose.
Yeah, we do.
Next up for me, Generations the Bravest. That's the loosest one yet. So this is Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers, and Captain Mar-vell. Mar-vell of Kree? We'll say.
Kree Empire?
Yeah, so this one is a team up between Carol Danvers and Captain Mar-vell. They had a little bit of overlap in the universe. They were acquainted and worked together, but did Carol even have powers when he died?
She was binary, and she was a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent, she was other stuff.
I know she was a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent and an Air Force officer, but I didn't know. So this is him before she's met him. He's still trapped in the negative zone, which means the bands are on Rick Jones, right? If he slaps them together, then they switch places? Mm-hmm. Is that how it worked at that point in time?
Yeah. I don't know where he is.
Yeah.
All I know is Rick Jones.
The negative dimension.
Rick Jones goes...
Like
on Friends.
I was thinking Wonder Woman, but yeah, all right.
No, Friends.
Yeah, I remember.
Okay.
You can't do that on TV. That's obscene.
I know.
Fortunately, we're not on TV.
No subtitles.
But yeah, so this is the Negative Zone. They fight Annihilus and his hordes of minions, and it's pretty cool. Stoll is the regular author on the book, Captain Marvel. So she has a very good feel for Carol's voice. Seeing the two of them interact is neat. I realized as I was reading this, I've never actually read a Captain Mar-vell story, because he died of cancer in 85, 87? I was not very old when it happened, so he's not really been active.
It was before then. It was 80, maybe 83, 85. But then there was a Peter David series that was about his son.
Right.
That was very well received, and I didn't read that.
It's Peter David, so it's probably worth your time.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's awesome and fun, and they've been sort of playing with Mar-vell for years and years and years, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see him again at some point. Fairly soon.
Staying in the Marvel Universe, Secret Empire continues.
It doesn't continue.
Yes, this is
the fallout.
This is Secret Empire Omega. Couldn't they just call it Secret Empire Epilogue? This feels like an epilogue.
But Omega is... you're suggesting that Omega implies it's the end.
Was there an Alpha issue?
No, there was a 0 issue. It was a free comic book day issue.
So why is there an Omega if there's no Alpha?
Everything ends, Mark.
It could be an epilogue. That's how it felt to me.
Darkseid made this.
So, should you pick this up if you were reading Secret Empire? Yes, absolutely. This is issue 11. Or 12, or I guess it was 0. Yeah, so
and then there's a free comic book day issue. So it's issue.
Yeah. So this is... Just pretend it's Secret Empire issue 11.
Art by Sorrentino, who did several issues within
Art by
series.
Sorrentino and 2 or 3 other artists, because that's how Marvel rolls these days. Most of it is Sorrentino. But this basically ties up a lot of the loose ends at the end of Secret Empire, at the end of issue number 10. So we see resolution to several different storylines, including Emma Frost and the X-Men, and we get to see what's going on with the Winter Soldier, the Punisher, and of course Steve Rogers and evil Steve Rogers. So this is in my opinion, in our opinion, this is a must-buy, must-read if you were picking up Secret Empire. So Omega is out, and then this is it. Secret Empire.
Done.
Over and done with as we charge headlong towards Legacy at the end of the month.
Next up for me, all new Wolverine continues to be just breathtakingly awesome. The end of the previous issue, it's been a month, I'm going to just tell people what happened.
Sure.
Gabby, X-23's little clone, daughter, sister, sidekick person, was turned into a brood queen.
What?
Yeah, not cool. And there's some history between Wolverines and the brood, and it involves stabbing. So Laura and the Guardians of the Galaxy try to save this planet from the brood infestation, and Laura has to deal with what happened to Gabby. It ends not exactly the way you think, or exactly the way you think, depending on how many comic books you've read. But what this really made me realize is, no disrespect to, is it Dugan writing the current Guardians? I need a Tom King Guardians book.
Tom Taylor.
Tom Taylor, sorry.
We'll take a Tom King.
I will also take a
Guardians
Tom King Guardians book. But his voice for Rocket and Quill and all these other characters interacting and bantering, it's amazing and fun, and it just feels so much like the movie. And that is what I want when I pick up a Guardians book. And yeah, awesome, emotional, funny, very no holds barred, just awesome. And correct me if I'm wrong, but during Original Sin, didn't Wolverine make the Brood? He was breaking into that S.H.I.E.L.D. facility with, I think, Invisible Woman, and he interacts with the alien, and it doesn't look like the Brood, and then he gets his blood on it, and it gets more broody, and it looked because of the Wolverine. Okay.
Yeah, that was cool.
It was a cool story. But I was just wondering, because they talk about the Wolverine DNA and the Brood, and I was trying to remember if that really happened or I imagined it.
That has the information. If not, you'll make it. All right, we are running out of time, so I'm going to slam these two together here. Number 2 issues, second issues come out this week, and I talked about the first issue of both of them and want to come back and say you should pick up number 2. Mech Cadet U, number 2, by Greg Pak and Takeshi Miyazawa. Continues to be awesome if you like giant robots and kids and mechs and that sort of thing. It was excellent. And on a whim, I picked up Shadow number 2 because I really like the Shadow number 1. Cy Spurrier is the writer on this one, and it's and Dan Watters. It's kind of an updating, modernization of the Shadow, yes and no, but just if you're a Shadow fan, this is a must read. And even if you've never read any Shadow comics before, it's very easy to get into. You can probably still find number 1. I know we have copies available. But number 2 continued to be good, so I'm sticking with it.
Okay. And then I also have some things that are still awesome, just as awesome as I told you they were last time. Defenders 5 by Brian Bendis and David Marquez. Beautiful, witty, so much fun. Batman Detective Comics 964, written by James Tynion or by Chris Cebola?
No, he's a co-writer.
Co-writer?
Or he's the scripter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't approve of that.
Yeah.
Anyway,
what's going
art
on
and
there.
words by some other people. Words by Cebola, art by Carmen Carnardo, or possibly Carnello. Your font is weird. The cover title is Alas, Poor Clayface, and it is awesome. This is, as much as I love Tom King's Batman, this might be my favorite Bat book. Well, because it's a thing. Don't worry about it. Clue is still ridiculous and winky and
better
awesome.
than it should be.
Right, there's no reason a thing based on a board game should be good. And it is. It's great. And Time of Vine by friend of the store Tom Taylor continues to be awesome.
Tom Zoller.
Tom Zoller. Too many Toms. Tom Zoller.
We want Tom Taylor to be a friend of the store. He's in Australia.
Come on in, Tom. Alter Ego Melbourne. We'll be with you.
That's close to New Zealand. We can get a hookup with that, can't we?
Oh, my guy. It's awesome. It's fun. Time travel hijinks and deep family emotional stuff and 8 kinds of awesome.
And wine.
As
you can see, or as you've seen, so much awesome stuff came out this week. Head out to your local comic shop and support them. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up so that more people see it. Make sure to subscribe so you're kept in the loop when we add new videos. And join us on our private Facebook page for Comics Are Awesome, where we continue the conversation about comics that are awesome. Awesome. That's awesome. See you next time.
Awesome.